Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Najla Adizka Defria Budiarto, and today I will present to you about my proposal titled Improving the Ability in Writing Analytical Exposition Text Using Brainstorming of Class 11 Accounting Students of SMKN 1 Banjarmasin. This proposal consists of 3 chapters. Chapter 1 is Introduction, Chapter 2 is Review of Literature, Chapter 3 is Methodology. The first chapter is Introduction. Background of the study. Writing is one of the important skills in English. Even though that writing has been taught to the students since they entered junior high school, they might struggle in their writing skill because there are many things to consider in writing. Writing is also difficult for students because English is not their first language. In SMKN 1 Banjarmasin, students have been taught how to write analytical exposition text, and they have been given group assignment to write an analytical exposition text based on a topic provided by the teacher. However, when their works are checked, most of them seem to have difficulty in writing their analytical exposition text content, despite they already knew what topic they would be discussing in the text. This kind of problem happen might be because of the fact that students have difficulty in trying to express their ideas about the topic. So to help students generate or express ideas, teachers can give them time to do a pre-writing. One of the popular activities in pre-writing is brainstorming. The statement of the problem is based on the background described, the researcher came up with the problem of this research, which is thus using brainstorming, improve the ability in writing analytical exposition of class 11 accounting students in SMKN 1 Banjarmasin. The purpose of the study. The purpose of the study is to know if brainstorming can improve the ability in writing analytical exposition text of class 11 accounting students in SMKN 1 Banjarmasin. Significance of the study. The first one is theoretical significance. This study could provide information for readers, students, and teachers about how using brainstorming could improve the ability in writing analytical exposition text of class 11 accounting students in SMKN 1 Banjarmasin. Second one is practical significance. First one is for students. The class 11 accounting students in SMKN 1 Banjarmasin are able to know if brainstorming can improve their ability in writing analytical exposition text or not. For teachers, this study hopefully can give the teachers more knowledge about using brainstorming in teaching writing. For other researchers, this study could be a reference for other researchers who want to conduct a research with the same topic. Second one is review of literature. So first one is writing. Writing is an important skill to be mastered by students. According Danya and Alamelu 2020 states that writing is a dynamic activity. It begins with the writer's purpose to write, is followed by the gathering and assembling of thoughts, and ends with the ideas taking the written form. Moreover, they also points out that writing process consists of 3 stages, namely pre-writing, the actual writing, and post-writing. Budiarto 2014 reveals writing is one of the effective way for students to comprehend their thoughts and feelings properly than just expressing it orally. Furthermore, Budiarto et al. 2017 mentions that writing is not only about vocabularies and grammar, it also requires the ability to form ideas and arrange them effectively to make a good writing because ideas function as a lead for students in writing. It is in line with Laxmi 2006, writing is more than just following grammar. It is also about students learning to communicate their ideas in writing. Based on the definition, it can be concluded that writing refers to an important skill that consists of the process of not only following grammar's rules, but also gathering and communicating ideas in the form of written text, in which the process itself is divided into 3 stages, which is pre-writing, the actual writing, and the post-writing. The second one is analytical exposition text. Priani et al. 2008 states that analytical exposition text is a text that suggests a certain topic in pro or con, not both. Budiarto et al. 2017 points out that the purpose of analytical exposition text, which is to persuade the readers to accept a certain point of view or take a certain action. Moreover, they conclude that in analytical exposition, the author should over reasons, facts, statistics, and any other relevant information. It is in line with Yessi and Sinambela 2018 that mentions analytical expositions concerns the truth of a particular object's fact. Furthermore, they explain that analytical exposition text is written to reveal the reader the truth of the fact from the object. This text aims to simply expose the truth or the fact. Yessi and Sinambela also reveals that analytical exposition text consists of three components, namely thesis, arguments, and reiteration. It can be concluded that analytical exposition text is a text that consists of an author's point of view about a certain topic in the form of pro and or con arguments, in which these arguments only offer the truth about the facts or other relevant information related to the topic. Next one is pre-writing. It is important for students to master pre-writing techniques. According to Servati 2012, pre-writing techniques are crucial for students to master and apply well into their college years. These techniques can help students to not only organize their writing, but also construct ideas, identify their writing style, and use more sophisticated word choices. According to Danya and Alamelu 2020, they describe pre-writing as a step of preparation where students are encouraged to gather their thoughts on the topic at hand and given a suitable setting to allow an open exchange of views. This can also be referred as the beginning stages of writing development. Furthermore, they add that some of the popular pre-writing activities includes brainstorming, clustering or mind mapping, outlining or listing, journaling or questioning, and free writing. It can be concluded that pre-writing refers to the beginning stage of writing in which students do preparation for their writing. This includes constructing and gathering their ideas, finding the writing style, and being able to choose appropriate words. Next one is brainstorming. Brainstorming is one of the strategies used for creativity and problem solving in various fields. Sabaran 2015 notes that brainstorming is one of the most crucial techniques for sparking creativity and solving problems in the fields of education, business industry, and politics. Furthermore, he explains in terms of writing, students can use the brainstorming technique to come up with ideas for papers. Additionally, Budiarto 2014 concludes that brainstorming is one of the pre-writing techniques that is particularly beneficial for a writer to gather ideas before doing the first draft of writing. It can be concluded that brainstorming is one of the techniques used in pre-writing stage that could help students to generate their ideas in writing. Next one is brainstorming in pre-writing. It has been mentioned that brainstorming is one of the activities in pre-writing. Mogahed 2013 mentioned that brainstorming is a good method for getting started or coming up with new ideas. Once students are comfortable with the procedure, they can use this activity independently whenever they run into problems, need to revise their work, or want to move on to a new stage. It can be concluded that brainstorming is needed in pre-writing because it helps students in preparing idea about a certain topic they will write. Not only that, brainstorming can also help students when they need to revise or when they are stuck in the process of writing. Next one is the previous study. The previous study was titled Improving Students' Writing Skills of Narrative Text Through Brainstorming Technique by the second year students of State Islamic University Suskaryau by Kurnia Budianti. The aim of this research is to find out if brainstorming technique could better improve students' writing ability and find out factors that influence it. The subject of this research is second year students of English Department of State Islamic University Suskaryau. The difference of this research with the previous study is that the study conducted by Kurnia Budianti used narrative text, and the subject is the second year of students of English Department of State Islamic University Suskaryau. Chapter 3 is methodology. So the first one is research setting and research subject. The subject in the study were the students of class 11D accounting in SMKN 1 Banjarmasin that consists of 8 male students and 29 female students. And the subject of the research is English. Next one is research design. This research uses classroom action research as its method. It means that to improve the students, the teacher can give them treatment until a certain goal is reached. Next one is data and data resources. The first one is data. The data used in this research is students' ability in writing analytical exposition text when using brainstorming technique in their pre-writing process. And the second one is data resource. The source of data in this research is the students of class 11D accounting students in SMKN 1 Banjarmasin. Next one is technique of data collection. There are two. The first one is test. The technique of data collection used in this research is test, namely pre-test and post-test. The subjects will be asked to write analytical exposition text in groups for both pre-test and post-test. The treatment would be given after the pre-test. Both the pre-test and the post-test will be checked, and the indicators of writing assessment are grammar, vocabulary, style, spelling, punctuation, and content. And the second technique of the data collection of this research is observation. Observation is done to know the student respond to the use of brainstorming in their pre-writing activity. Next one is technique of data analysis. The data were analyzed by comparing the means from pre-test or before treatment and post-test or after treatment to see if there was any improvement for the student's ability in writing analytical exposition text. And the formula to calculate the means, you can see it in the screen. Next one is still the technique of data analysis. The results are consulted through the completeness of learning, which you can see in the table on the screen. There are 5 score and 5 category. Next one is research procedure. In this classroom action research, the writers conducted 2 cycles. There were a total of 2 meetings covered in those 2 cycles. The result of each cycle will be organized into 4 steps of classroom action research, namely, first planning, second acting, third observing, and last is reflecting. This is based on the classroom action research model of Kurt Lewin, as you can see in the picture on the screen. Next one, the procedure of the 2 cycles, we can see in the table. In the planning steps, the activities will be the teacher preparing the analytical exposition topics for the pre-test and post-test, and then preparing material about brainstorming technique in pre-writing. Next one is preparing, the writer is preparing the observation checklist. And then in the acting steps, the activities will be, the pretest is given to the students. In groups, students are instructed to write analytical exposition text based on the topics provided by the teacher. And then after the pretest will be submitted, and then the teacher will introduce the brainstorming technique to the students. And then after the explanation of brainstorming technique in the students' pre-writing, a treatment will be given to the students, which is using brainstorming in their pre-writing activity. Then after the treatment, a post-test is given to the students. In groups, students are instructed to write analytical exposition text based on the topics provided by the teacher. And then in the observing stage, the researcher or the writer observing students respond to the use of brainstorming in pre-writing. Last one is the reflecting stage. The result from pretest and post-test will be checked to see if there is any improvement of students' ability in writing analytical exposition text using brainstorming. The result of the observation will be analyzed. The outcome of this research, the outcome of this reflection, will be used to develop to next cycle's planning. So when cycle 1 failed, to provide successful results, the researcher will move on to the cycle 2. In the cycle 2, the researcher will use the outcome of cycle 1 as the reflection for the cycle 2 for the planning. Okay, that is all from me. Thank you very much for your attention and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.